A couple days ago, I made a video that was basically talking about the upcoming CPI print that was going to show what inflation has done recently, and oh my god, was it a crazy day. The only way to really describe this is if, the market was on some type of crazy psychotic drug, like psychosis. Something is going on with the market, and I guess it's just broken. I don't know. But basically, let's go ahead and talk about why things were so crazy on Thursday, October 13th, because you guys see the reversal that happened in this market. It was absolute madness. And also at the same time, what happened with the CPI numbers that came out. So this is what I showed you in that video the other day. So basically, if you remember, hopefully you watched the video, by the way, but I talked about September CPI data and what was going to come out. Again, this came out on Thursday, yesterday, but this was before it came out. So this is what I was talking about. And this was the nowcast data. 8.2% was what it was showing. I think the street, the general analysts' expectations were about 8.1%. It actually came out here over here is what it came out as 8.2. So 8.2 was September's year-over-year inflation rate. So 8.2, the market at 8.1, a little bit of an upside surprise, not much. But the thing is, the sentiment in the market was that I think people really were thinking that there was going to be a surprise lower, right? So CPI was going to go down, inflation wouldn't have been as hot as people were expecting, and that would really lead to basically the market ripping higher, and that's what people thought was going to happen, or it seems like the sentiment of the market was, which it did not happen. However, in a second we're going to talk about the madness that was the trading on that day, because apparently maybe I don't even know what happened that day. Let's try to discuss it and unravel that mess. This is a puzzle. So all items less food and energy. So this is core inflation. So when you strip out food and energy, this is what it was up. It was up 6.6% year over year. And then again, it was 6.64% in the nowcast data. So okay, it was basically what I thought it was going to be, what I showed you the 2 days before it came out. It was exactly the same number. So I wasn't very surprised. I did think that it would be a little bit under maybe, and the reason I did, if you remember, when I talked about energy, I was saying that I don't think that energy was going to have a big impact this past September, because in that time period for that month, there wasn't big gains in energy and essentially oil prices. And that's what I was kind of banking on. And it was a little bit lower, so negative 2.1%, but it wasn't that much lower, right? It was down 5% in August. It was down negative 4.6 in July. So it's been down. But again, energy prices are probably starting to go up because of price of oil and things like that. So I wasn't very surprised about this. And then the shelter part, I was a little bit, shelter, for example, if you remember, I was saying that shelter probably hasn't peaked yet because we're looking at essentially lagging indicators within shelter, the kind of forward or more present looking values that you're looking at, and things like the Zillow Home Index, which you can see here. It's showing, this is more raw, this is more immediate data, right? This is showing you what's going on in the near term right now, let's say, instead of being lagging. And this is showing the Zillow Observed Rent Index is kind of starting to turn over, right? Because this is a better indicator. It's not lagging like what we're looking at in CPI. And so, yes, shelter was still up. It was up 0.7 for the month over month. So it was an increase in shelter. And then 6.6 year over year was the increase in shelter, 6.6% increase year over year. So look, were the numbers like very shocking? I don't think they were, okay? So I don't think they were very shocking, but the market reacted as if it was absolutely shocked, right? That was the reaction immediately. So look at this from Sentiment Trader. Today was the 5th largest intraday reversal from a low in the history of the S&P 500. The entire history. Yesterday, the fifth largest intraday change or reversal. It was absolutely madness. It was the 4th largest in the history of the NASDAQ composite. So look at this. The highlighted one on the left here is S&P 500. It was down negative 2.3%. The entire S&P 500 down 2.3% at the low. It ended up in the high. It was 2.6% gain at close. Absolutely madness. It's crazy. The reversal here is absolutely crazy. And then over here, you have the NASDAQ down 3.15%. Gain at close, 2.23%, absolute madness. Let me show you this on the chart. We're looking at an hour chart of the S&P 500 here, and so basically let's take a look at this. So basically let's say it opened here at 35.75-ish. It goes down to it's down 2.33%, opens down 2.33%, down in the 3,492 area. Okay, so it just hits this like low area. I don't know what I honestly I don't see any like resistance there. I don't understand why it stopped here. I really don't see anything technically that would lead me to believe that that was some type of level that was really important, which is kind of weird. I honestly, I don't understand. And then it just ripped higher. Look at this. So from here, it just ripped up to 3,633, up 4% from this low here. And this is within like an hour of hitting this low, right? So here, this is 9:30 in the morning. This is 10:30 in the morning. And then by 11:30 in the morning, we're talking about, it hits up to 3,663. And then the next hour, 12:30, it's at 3,648. And the thing, it just ends the day up 5% plus, right? So it was absolute madness in the day. The trading day on that day, oh my gosh, it was just absolutely crazy. And back to kind of why this even matters, of course, is we can see Andreas Steno Larsen here saying, huge US CPI day. Whether the trend has turned is all that matters for equities. Here's what happened when the peak was in during Q4 of 1974. And so he shows basically S&P 500, basically when the peak of inflation turned over, and it's basically inflation stops going up and starts going down, was essentially about the bottom of the S&P 500's fall, okay? And so he's basically attributing this to saying like, okay, if this happens, the next time that we're going to see the S&P 500 hit the lows, it's going to be around the time when we see peak inflation, right? And what we're saying here is, well, another 8.2% up in headline inflation, we're not there yet, right? And so maybe it continues going further down. And to really like wrap things up here and kind of like explain what's going on in the near term, just next month, just a quick reminder, November 2nd, Fed decision, November 4, jobs report, November 8th, midterms, November 10th, CPI data, December 2, another jobs report, December 13th, CPI data, December 14th, Fed decision. Ladies and gentlemen of YouTube, it is going to be an absolutely crazy next few months. Just buckle up. I hope you're ready for it. Maybe it'll be a good crazy. It might be a bad crazy. I don't know. But it's going to be crazy. That's all I can tell you right now. So we'll get another CPI print like that said before, but here's the calendar again. This is, we'll get October's numbers November 10th at 8:30 a.m. So we'll see what happens then. At this point in time, of course, you all know if you're watching my videos that I'm positive. I'm always buying. I'm a net buyer. I'm going to stay invested in the stock market, whether it's up or down. So just to remind you all, as per usual, of course, even if we think that CPI is going to continue to go up for another year, I'm still in the stock market. I'm still buying. I'm still optimistic, right? I want to buy as stocks go down, and I want to average my average cost basis as stocks go down, right? I'm just happy to do that, right? So that's the way I'm doing this. That's the way I'm approaching it. I hope you all are at least enjoying the videos, and maybe, you know, if something I'm saying is rubbing off on you, hopefully it does. Anyway, that's all I have for this video. Disclaimer here, and I got another video coming up. You know, hit one of these end screen elements right now, and see you next time.